Everyone, and happy Monday morning. I hope you guys all had a fantastic weekend and you are counting down because we are now 3 weeks away to the end of the semester, you guys, which is amazing. It's a massive accomplishment. So many of you have just really been producing fantastic work. And I know that we were always an e-learning course. So it was what it was, but I know you're managing a lot of other things in your personal lives. And so for me, I'm just so proud of you for being so consistent and doing such great work. And I just want you guys to know that you're almost there. In fact, this week I am rolling out your final assignments really for the rest of the course. So how this is going to work is basically we have 3 weeks left. And that last week of June, normally you guys are home. You've got examinations or, it's kind of the end of the semester. But this year we're not doing any final 30. So there's no final performance task and there's no final examination. So the ministry has said that teachers have to teach right until the end of the semester. Now, that's kind of funny because report cards are actually due earlier than the end of the semester. So what I've decided to do is put together a weekly breakdown, just as like we're always used to. And I'm rolling out our final project for Unit 3. And I'm giving you until the final Monday of the semester to complete this final project. So that's Monday, June 22nd at 8 a.m. The reason that project is going to be due then is because a few days later, my report cards are due. So I actually need those projects in then so that I have enough time to mark them and then do the report cards. So that last week, there's not going to be any formal assignments that I'm going to be assigning you for grades. There'll be some TED Talks and some inspirational things, and I'll want a reflection from you guys so that I can get some feedback for how I can do better online learning next semester, assuming that COVID is, obviously going to be here for a while. But other than that, the remainder of the assessments are going to be just this week and next week. So basically, you're almost done, okay? And so this week, we have just 2 more lessons, and then I'm rolling out the last assignment, and then that's going to roll into next week. You'll have the full week to complete that assignment, okay? So hopefully that kind of gives you a collective sigh of relief. You can plan out the rest of June, at least for this course, and I really hope that gives you the motivation and the impetus to just push yourself through these last assignments, because I think you will reap rewards from obviously learning as much as you can before you go into post-secondary school. With that being said, this video is going to be a little bit lengthier because I'm going to be taking you through this week, but I'm also going to be taking you through that final project. So it's really important that you do listen to this lesson video today because it will give you the full expectations and rundown for what I would expect from you for this project. Okay. So on Monday, we are going to we're starting a couple lessons on corporate social responsibility. Normally, I like to really dive into this, but just for sake of time, we only have 2 lessons and 2 discussion posts for you to complete based on this lesson. So what I want you to do is obviously go through the lesson on corporate social responsibility, which is really just the concept of businesses using their power, their money, their financial capital to really help the world instead of taking more from the world, whether it be through environmental change, whether it be through giving back to human causes, or whether it's just coming up with a completely innovative approach to their business model where they are able to be more sustainably run. So maybe their business actually is designed to help people who are living in poverty to start their own small businesses, right? So it's this really cool concept, and I'm very passionate about it as a business owner in my own personal life. But that being said, we don't have a ton of time to get through it. So please go through this lesson content very carefully, okay? So the class discussion post on this lesson involves 2 different questions. I just want you to go through and highlight 3 points that stood out for you from this lesson. And then please include something from one of the videos that you watched within the lesson. And then I want you to reflect on yourselves as a consumer. So the leading question is there, but if you can answer that discussion post and then comment on 2 peer posts, that is your assignment for that lesson. You've got Tuesday to work on that. And then on Wednesday, we have another lesson on sustainability and social entrepreneurship. There are 2 videos in this lesson that are a bit lengthier. They're from the Story of Stuff. If you've ever seen the original Story of Stuff video, there's a whole bunch of other fantastic videos. So I've assigned a couple more in there, and it's important that you watch them. Okay, and then you'll have another discussion post based on that as well. And in that discussion post, I'm actually going to be introducing you to a really fantastic organization or business called Kiva. So I will have you actually check that organization out. It's hyperlinked in here for you to be able to answer that discussion post. And as always, please comment on 2 peer posts. Okay? That gives us right to Thursday, which is our final master project of Unit 3 and of the course. This is not your final culminating project. It's not that size at all. It's been designed to be completed in class in about 4 work periods I would typically give you, but you have this whole week and all of next week to complete it. So more than enough time for you to get that done. And it's due on Monday, June 22nd. I am going to ask that you get that in no later, like final deadline by that date, because again, I have a very short turnaround to actually assess that project and then do your report cards. Okay. So I'm going to open this assignment up now and I'm going to go through it with you so that assume that we're in class together and I'm just teaching you a lesson on what the expectations of the assignment are. I won't go through it word for word because you can read, but I'm just going to highlight some of sort of the more important parts of this assignment and sort of what my expectations are. Now, I want to point out that I did a variation of this assignment with my grade 10s this semester when I taught them their leadership component of the course, and they rocked this assignment. You guys should have seen what they produced. So my expectations are a little bit higher for you guys because my grade 10s kind of killed it. And I figure, well, your grade 12s, you're going to be that much more superior. So I expect some pretty great stuff. This assignment is going to have you guys be kind of creative thinkers. It's going to get you outside of the screen, which I think we all need right now. And I'm also going to challenge you to incorporate and involve your family members. Now, this is a choice that you can make. You don't have to, but it's definitely a part of the process. And since we're in a leadership course, I think it's a great opportunity for you to take a leadership role within your family and see, how that goes for you. My grade 10s really did this. They involved their siblings and their parents. And a lot of them found that they really had to, they started democratically, but maybe mom was being a little more pushy and then they had to end up being a little bit more assertive. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic once you start involving family members. So I challenge you to do that. Now, I respect that not every family will be able to do that with parents working or not around or whatever it may be. And that's totally fine as well. But if you have the opportunity to involve your family in this, you are more than welcome to do that. Okay, so this is it. You guys are going to be challenged to be leaders. Your task for this is essentially you're going to be building a structure within your home using the materials and resources that you have available to you. Okay, so this is COVID style friendly. I am asking you not to go out of your home unless it's in your yard or in your garage or your balcony or whatever you have accessible to you. No shopping for this whatsoever. You have to be creative and use the resources that you have, okay? So you spent this semester really learning about your own individual selves as leaders, and you've learned, much like the video with the dancing guy, that there are followers in life, and followers can be just as much leaders as the first dancing guy. And so we're all leaders in our own way. And this is an opportunity for you to take a little bit of a leadership role in the style that best fits you, okay? So as we know, there are 4 functions of leadership that we learned in this semester, and this entire project is really taking you through those 4 functions. This is basically the idea here is that your objective is to build a structure that you can get yourself physically into. So I say here you can crawl into. The idea is like you could stand in it, you could crawl into it, you could lie in it, whatever works for you, but it's like a cozy space within your home that is just for you or your entire family, depending on what you envision and how creatively you can think, okay? The only criteria for this is that your structure must have a roof, 4 walls, and a door to get in and out. However, you can take this above and beyond. Will you decorate your structure? Some of my grade 10s literally painted their entire wood cardboard structure in their backyard. Will it have windows? Will it have I don't know, planters boxes? What will it have? It's completely up to you. I just want you guys to have some fun with this. Get outside, get outside of your screens and just try to relax and do something that challenges you creatively and to think, outside of the box. Okay, so there are 3 parts to this project. There's the plan, the shelter build, and then there's the reflection. Part A is the plan. In this section, I want you to prepare a Google document And you can also submit this by taking like a photo of your work. If you want to do pen and paper, that's fine as well. Sorry, I didn't mean to include uploading this to Classroom. You can see I am kind of have messed up that part. That's okay. So you're going to create a document and you are going to outline the following in this. The project goal. So what type of structure are you planning on creating? How large is it going to be? Where is it going to be located? How many people will you plan to shelter? Then break down the resources and the materials. So resources includes, actual material capital, but also includes human capital. So do you plan on using and incorporating your family members? And then the blueprint. So a blueprint is just basically a map of how you envision this to look. So you can do this online, kind of if you are handy at working through things like Photoshop or Google Draw, or you can just pen and paper it, take a picture of that and upload it to the actual document, okay? So this is the overall plan. I really want you to break it down in fine detail what the overall plan is. It's very important to the process because the idea is that you'll see what the plan was and then you'll see the finished product and you'll be able to execute the controlling functions of leadership to see if there were any deviations from the plan. Okay, that takes us to the shelter build. This is obviously the part of the process where you're going to be building your actual structure. So what I ask for you is that you take at least 3 photos of this structure as you're going through the process. The more, the merrier. Now, from privacy issues, again, just make sure that you're taking a photo of what you're comfortable of within your home. So just pictures of the actual structure if it is something that bothers you, okay? You don't have to include human beings in the actual photos. You're more than welcome to if that's not something that you care about. Of course, you can trust me, I'm not going to be sharing this content with anyone. And then part C is the reflection once you're done the entire structure build. So you're going to prepare a document where you're going to be answering the following questions. And I also am going to ask you to watch a TED Talk by Brene Brown called The Power of Vulnerability. That's been hyperlinked in here. You're going to need to watch this TED Talk in order to answer the questions for the reflection. So I'm not going to go through the questions because they're all here, but basically these questions tie into a lot of the content from Unit 3, but also the course in general as it applies to motivational theories, functions of leadership, and then also your leadership style and personality testing. And it's just going to have you reflect on the process. So like, how did it go? If you were working with family members, how did you find you were as a leader? What kind of conflicts did you come into? Did you find that you were able to use some of the ideas that your guardians came up with or that your siblings did? I had one of my grade 10s say that one of their biggest challenges was that their sibling was trying to have a pillow fight with them the entire time, stuff like that. And then you're going to reflect on the controlling aspect, sort of the before and after. I'll have you reflect on your personality testing that you've done in this class. And then also we have the vulnerability piece. And this is going to really tie things into the idea of how to be the most effective leader possible. Okay, so you're going to submit that as well. So that's the project. I personally think it's fun. I mean, it's the type of project I would want it to have at this point in my high school career. And I just challenge you guys to open your minds to it. I had a lot of my students say, I just don't think creatively, but then I found once I got into it, it was a lot of fun and it was really great for my family as well. So, open your minds to the possibilities. That's what leadership is all about. And then when you're done this, you're done the course, right? So then you submit that. And then the final week, I am going to have a reflection from you guys. It's not going to be for marks, but I'm going to be asking you some questions about my teaching, some things that some tips that you could give me for next semester. And then also I'm going to have you guys give me some feelers around how you think school next September should look, assuming that COVID will still be around from what you've learned from this semester, because I'm going to be putting together a ministry proposal and I want feedback from my students. So that's really what I'm going to be doing in that final week if you're thinking that far ahead. But otherwise, the rest of the semester is right here in this video. So hopefully that makes you feel like you could relax, you know what you're doing now, and you can just crush it, okay? So that's that. Another thing I mentioned is that I haven't been doing mark updates, mostly because I can't with Markbook. But if you guys want to know where you are at within this course, I only have, I think, 2 assignments left to mark at this point outside of this stuff. So it's a pretty good indicator as to where you're at. A lot of you have really increased your overall marks since COVID started. So you're more than welcome to email me and I'll email you right back with your updated mark, okay? That's it, I think, for now. I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a crazy semester, and I know that for me, I've had to unlearn and relearn, and have so much patience and kindness with myself as I've gone through this. And I just am so proud of you guys for being here and for listening to this, and for holding strong. You should be really proud of yourselves. With that being said, have a fantastic week, and I will see you online.